The Tangent Egg podcast is aimed at a mature audience. It contains themes that are not appropriate for all listeners. It's important to note that we are not experts. We routinely have no idea what we're talking about and are just three idiots sitting around a table. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Tangent Egg Podcast. I'm Seth, and as always with me is Swoosh and John Doe.
Hello!
Hi.
And first up, we've got to do the update that's happened with Unity. And their CEO basically being like, I'm out!
I done fucked up, I gotta leave.
All I can imagine is he's done everything and someone's just walked in and is like, sir, you have to leave now. The mob is here.
But as much as he's saying that it's his choice to step down and spend time with his family, you can tell there's an entire board of directors saying, no, motherfucker, you were being told. You're
voluntold.
Yeah, very much so. You're
voluntold
to spend time with your family. God fucking
At the same
damn.
time, the only downside to this is this guy's golden parachuting out of there.
Yeah, I
guaranteed.
do hate that. I hate the golden
Given the fact that
parachute.
he already sold his stocks last week before he announced this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Back when they, were worth something.
That has to be some kind of insider trading, though. Like, how has he not been investigated for that?
It's literally exactly that. He had insider knowledge of what was about to be announced, so he sold his shit. He knew it was a bad idea from the start. How the fuck do you get away with that without someone going, hey, you did a thing. Bad. No.
It's like some like tax agent with a spray bottle. Like, bad corporation.
Like,
And then there'll be whatever severance package he gets for stepping down. So, as much as I'm happy that he's walking away, he's going to be walking away into such a comfy retirement.
oh,
Yeah.
fucking oath.
That's the annoying thing. Like, that's why I think this shit keeps happening.
Provided he actually retires, he's just left here. He's still, I don't know how old he is, but most likely he'll just step across to another company and say, hey, look, I work for this mob, or I worked here, and put me on. I'll be your CEO.
He'll move
And
laterally to a different thing.
Yeah. Wants to
the
take a
point
massive
is-
payout.
Yeah.
His loss, him leaving Unity, isn't going to hurt Unity that much, and he's not getting hurt by having to leave. Even if he doesn't get another job, he's rolling out of there with that much fucking cash. It's not going to matter.
In that, I don't know how you can hurt Unity much more.
I know.
Holy fuck, is Unity taking a hit?
I swear, the big corporations for our industry have all been like, hold the beer, and they're just trying to outdo each other now.
It really feels like it.
Like, is it a race to the bottom? Is that what we're doing? Because if so, I will win this. Do not tempt me.
I've got family who know absolutely nothing about tech news or gaming or anything, and they've come up and we said, what is Unity? I've heard that's gone really bad. It's like,
Yeah.
that's fucking bad.
When even the boomers
it's
are
bad when
asking.
it breaks containment.
Yeah. Breaks next to Facebook.
I'm really waiting for the next company. First we had Wizards with D&D.
Yeah.
Now we've got Unity. It comes in threes. Who's fucking next?
Who'd we have
I've got to
before
assume
that?
it's going to be whatever eventually happens with Muskie.
There was something else that happened between Unity and this.
He comes with his own sets of threes. He's going to fuck himself up 3 times regardless.
Yeah.
This is something completely set outside of
Oh,
Muskie.
yeah. Muskie's got to fuck Twitter, he's got to fuck Tesla, and he's got to fuck SpaceX.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's an outlier. He doesn't get worked in with the mathematics. He's just something that happens. He's a weird
No,
variable.
he's going to launch a SpaceX rocket, which will disintegrate, crashing into a Tesla company, and it's going to be live tweeted saying, "Congratulations on the launch."
Oh no, even
And
better.
then it's all going to fucking come down.
They'll shoot off the SpaceX. Then Twitter will finally go broke because somehow that thing's fallen onto the Twitter building, or X as it is now. And then that fucking car he launched, the Tesla he launched into space, will just come back down and flatten a family somewhere. Guaranteed. That's how he goes down.
No. The SpaceX launches, one of the disposable rockets comes down and hits the Tesla factory. The rest of the rocket blows up, and then he live tweets the family saying, "Great launch."
Oh,
That's how I see it happening.
Oh,
that's
God.
Muskie's 3.
the fact that when you
Yep.
said that, I got a clear
No.
image of it in my head. I think Dan might be an oracle now.
No. That it'll exactly what you said. You know, thing comes off, hits the factory, the rest of it explodes, and someone will be like the family will probably put something up on Twitter, railing against it or some shit like that about one of the people who died in the factory, and then over the top of it will be an unclickable ad for Tesla or SpaceX.
It'll be an ad for some junk company that doesn't state that it's an ad, but it's like thoughts and prayers. Yeah, it'll be some fucking stupid thing. Musk is in a world of his own 3. He's
yeah,
own little subset. I'm really waiting for the next fucking company. Like, there has to be another company in the nerdosphere. Like, we've had Wizards with D&D. Now we've got fucking Unity. Like, we've had Cardboard Crack. Well, I'm waiting for Cardboard Crack to fucking break itself. It's tried several times. Like,
I don't
D&D
think it can now.
Oh, I think it fucking can. A little more effort and they'll fucking break themselves. Like, D&D fucked itself. Now Unity has. So, we've had tabletop games, game engines. What's the next fucking game thing that's gonna burn?
Are we restricting the games, or can we expand it to pop culture?
Well,
a lot of movies have been fucking up recently.
That just seems to be the theme for this set of 3. So
it really does, yeah.
I'm waiting for the next thing. Games company fuck up bingo.
I'm just trying to think what can be fucked up now. What's left for them to break?
Well, no. In this set of 3, it has to be wanting to charge everyone for something that they don't fucking charge for.
Oh, so the model for...
Oh, no. You want to do that, then it already happened. The Unity one is the 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
Because the first one was Bethesda charging for mods.
Oh!
Yes, that's right. Fuck.
Holy fuck.
I knew there was something else. Fucking Bethesda.
Well, that all started with Horse Armor, and they had to keep up on themselves from there.
Started with Horse Armor, ended up with Overwatch. No, how did we get here?
They made Horse Armor, though.
They did.
When they decided they wanted to create the creation workshop and charge for other people's mods that they weren't paying to make them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they were like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, that was more scummy than normal, and that's saying something.
And then they release another version of Skyrim with all the mods included. Like, I'd rather go to Nexus and download the mods myself, thanks.
Pretty much. Like, it'd be great. There are certain YouTubers I watch, just occasionally they drop their mod pack, and I'll be like, oh, I play Skyrim again. Like,
after playing Starfield, I'd rather go back and play Skyrim with AKs modded into it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
I'm guessing you've had your fill?
I have. I keep looking at it going, I really want to play this and enjoy it and get lost in the adventure, but it feels like fucking work.
There's no adventure, and I just feel like I'm hauling cargo from one end of the universe to the other. That's literally what my character is doing.
Like, when I can play Cyberpunk and any person, like any NPC on the street feels like an actual character within that world, where they're doing things and living and moving around, and then you play Starfield, where it's like everyone is sitting down and staring at you. Like, if you look at the NPCs, they're all always looking at you.
Yeah,
like,
don't look at the NPCs, it's terrifying.
How fucking creepy are you? God damn.
Oh, the bug-eyed terror, this is horrible.
They needed to have already launched the fucking mod pack, like the mod kit for this, because then it'll get fixed.
It has been kind of interesting, like, watching the change in discourse about Starfield. It's like the initial reviews came out and were quite positive, and a lot of people's initial experience with the game was quite positive. And as people have played it more and more and realized, broad as an ocean, deep as a puddle, it's like, oh, this thing isn't that good.
But, like, I was really fucking hyped for it.
Same.
Really wanted this game, and then playing it at the start, the rose-colored glasses are on, it's like, oh my god, it's out, I'm finally getting to play it, you're getting that payoff, and then once you start taking them off, and you're looking, it's like, wait, this feels a little broken, why is this missing, why does it feel like this? It's like, god fucking damn, after we've been spoiled with Baldur's Gate, and then where Cyberpunk is at now, and then you go back and play that, it's like, this feels like it was released in 2018, 2019. Like, this doesn't feel like it has any soul to it.
this feels like a step back from what we wanted. It's very disappointing. Still, bare bones, the system works, that's a bonus, but the modders need to get their hands on fix it.
The system doesn't always it's real easy to break Starfield. If you build an outpost and click one storage box next to one you shouldn't have clicked, it will break your entire fucking network, and then you got to go through and rebuild the entire thing.
Oh, fuck that.
It's fucking broken. There are still a lot of bugs in Starfield. Like, the least buggy release still has a lot of fucking bugs. It's a Bethesda game. There are still so many bugs.
I love building bases and shit, but that game made it not fun for me, which is a hard thing to do. I basically made a one-room base somewhere to hide contraband until I got shielded cargo.
Even contraband's useless. You pick it up, it says it's worth 100,000 units, and you go to sell it, and it's not even worth 1,000. Like, what was the point of this?
Yeah.
Like, this is what it's worth, and then not what you actually get for it. That's just dumb.
Pretty much.
Like, it's not worth that then. Like, say what it's worth when I want to fucking sell it. Shit.
Yeah, tell me how much I'm getting from this. I don't do the math for you. Fuck you.
Yeah. I have really good future hopes for it after it's been out for 6 to 12 months and it's been fixed by Bethesda, and the modders have actually gone through it and properly fixed it.
They could pull a No Man's Sky or a Cyberpunk on us, and it could come back later much better.
This time, I'm looking forward to Starfield this time next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
That'd be good.
When they release the special edition that'll play on your Casio calculator. Like, that's the one.
It comes with Skyrim pre-installed as well. Yeah.
So I had a quick squiz on Steam to have a look at the reviews that are currently out for Starfield, and it slipped from positive to mixed. And most of the reviews right now are there's not really a lot to do.
No.
Yeah.
Give
us a
even the ones that are positive are like, this didn't nearly hit the mark, but I had fun.
Yeah. Well, there was an update for it yesterday, and one of the major features of it is it added an FOV slider.
Yeah.
Why the fuck was that not in the game at launch? Really?
They should always have that. The amount of people that we all, as a group, know who get sick from the field of view in games. So they need that slider or that valuable to make sure they're not vomiting when they play a video game.
Yeah. Just
that
the options. Holy shit.
Fuck.
Yeah, for a game that's been delayed so much, it's missing a lot of basic features.
Yeah.
Like most
or just bad implementation of the features they did leave.
Yeah.
Designing ships is clunky. Trying to travel is a fucking pain.
Fucking oath.
It's like I'll echo a lot of other reviewers who've been talking lately. Go watch the girlfriend reviews video for it. It's pretty fucking spot on.
Yeah.
But before we rant about that more, we should probably move forward. Because we will rant about that more.
So, the PS5's getting a slim update.
Though, is it really a slim update? Like, because it looks the exact fucking same as a normal PS5. Like,
I didn't see any change to it.
No, it's a few centimeters shorter in, like, if you had it sitting vertically, it sits a few centimeters shorter. But in this, you can't have it sitting vertically because you got to buy the stand separately, which is dumb.
And that's what, like $95 American?
Yeah. So 150 here.
Yeah. So it's the Apple version of marketing. It's just, I will let you have this thing. Buy all the accessories for hyperinflation.
I mean, let's face it, they're trying to hawk people a screen.
Yeah.
So, but like, it can be slimmer because they're releasing a disc and discless version.
But they released a discless version of the of the original console.
I have never seen the discless base version.
No, there was a discless one when they first did it, but no one wanted it because everyone wanted the disc version. Yeah. So you could still get PS5s if you wanted a
discless version. If you wanted a digital-only version. But
then also the digital-only one only came with 500 gigs, so it's like completely useless. You could buy maybe one game.
Yeah. Or it came with an 825 gig hard drive in it, but you can only use I think 600 gig of the storage.
Yeah,
So
the rest was
now,
all system.
Now this new one comes with a terabyte, but I'm wondering if you can still only use 800 gig of it if it's kept 200 gig aside for OS and whatnot. But this new one comes with an attachable disk drive.
Yeah, you can buy it as an option for $79, I think it is.
Again, 79 US. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 130.
Well, theoretically, no, I mean, I can't actually find anything that says how much the actual diskless one's going to cost. But, like...
The disk drive for will be sold separately for $79.99 USD.
Yeah. I know how much the disk drive is. I don't know how much the diskless console is.
It's not much cheaper because it's only like
it's
100
the exact
less
same
than
price.
most.
It's $499 US, which is the exact same as what a current PS5 is. So you're not going to get it for any cheaper. The console will be the exact same without a disk drive.
Which is literally the only advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the only thing that's
So-
changed is the shell. The internals are all identical, aren't they?
it's exactly
They've had minor upgrades.
Well-
and I mean minor.
really fucking minor enough that it'll make no fucking difference.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing like at the top 1% of usage, it would matter, but that's not how you run a console.
Yeah.
This
But,
feels very much like the was it the 360 with the UHD separate drive?
Oh, that was back when they had the
HD
last
Blu-ray.
format war
Yeah,
that was
that's
happening.
This feels very much like the added on disk drive, the unnecessary
Yeah.
drive.
I'm pretty sure it's just Sony trying to soft be like, hey guys, digital only.
Yeah.
They are definitely trying for that.
Well,
Because, like, aren't they
Whereas-
pressing for their streaming thing to be up soon?
Yes,
They're
they
finally
recently
trying to
announced-
compete with Game Pass. Good luck.
Should have started that a couple of years back.
But it's not even competing with Game Pass because you can't download.
Yeah.
No, it's
You can
streaming
only stream.
Yeah.
It's also
So-
guaranteeing it will not come to Australia, because, you know...
Man, how much lag would that have if you were playing it on the little stupid portable screen? 'Cause you'd have to lag from the screen to the console, and the console to the net, then the net to their data center.
It'd be like playing old school Civilization, where it's like, my turn, and then you wait for everything else to happen. Oh, it's my turn again. It's been 20 minutes.
Hey man, we had some fun playing Civ.
We did. Who was it that kept harassing us? It was like Napoleon?
I can't remember.
No,
all I remember
We sick Napoleon
is-
on the English, that's right.
All I remember was you were playing the Aztecs and were stuck in an eternal war.
Yeah.
And I was on an isolated island as I think it was the Vietnamese, and I was just funneling you money.
Yeah, you were bankrolling me so I could keep fighting because I got bonuses for being in war, and I just
So-
pissed off everyone next to me. It was great fun.
So Seth was pretty much playing the US, and
Yeah.
Swoosh is pretty much playing every other state.
Every third world nation ever involved with the US. Good times.
But
Yeah.
this whole thing, the PS5, it just feels a little silly. Like there's no real upgrade with it. Normally the Slim is like a slight upgrade with
Yeah.
a smaller console that looks a little sleeker. It actually feels like a mid-gen update. It's the exact same, like the same body shape, just a little shorter.
It's the fucking
Which-
curves. Like, I have a
it's fucking
PS5 and I hate
awkward.
the curves on it. It's fucking
Look,
stupid.
man, you just need to 3D print a little head for Kaiba and put it
Yeah.
on the top, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I have been tempted, not gonna lie. Someone's already made the model.
See, I'd be happy if you could gut a PS5 and put it inside the case for a PS4. Like,
Yeah.
That'd be
I
good.
actually quite like the design of the PS4.
Me
It's
too.
a nice little, like,
It actually
angular
looked
block.
nice. It actually looked like something I'd want to have on a shelf. This looks like something that I'd want to put in a cupboard.
It looks
fucking
like
hate the look
an
of PS5.
attempt at modern art. Like, they've gone, oh, we'll go to a modern art gallery. Yes, isn't
Yeah.
this fun?
Like, the thing is, though, like, the PS3, well, sort of, that one did resemble a George Foreman grill way too
Oh,
It
yeah, very
really
much so.
did.
But definitely the PS4 seemed to be consoles that were designed to fit in with your media unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could sit next to your cable box and your DVD player and, I don't know, your sound system. And it would all look kind of similar. This thing's like, fuck that, I'm unique.
Yeah.
I will be seen.
This
Yeah.
looks like something you need to sit on top of your media unit where people walk past you. That's a fucking weird looking vase.
I need to put a motion sensor on it just so whenever someone walks by, my PS5 just yells, "Witness me!" that's the vibe I get from it now.
Yeah, but whereas Xbox is absolutely doubled down on the, oh hey man, like a black box just fits in with everybody's setup. Let's just do fucking that.
Everything's black plastic. Just rock with that shit.
I don't care how it
looks
like. Just
they had their little midlife crisis with the 360.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because their original console was black, and then they were like, we're gonna be white. Oh wait, this sucks. Back to black.
No, but even that, like they had the 360, which when that first came out, you could have replaceable face plates on it.
Yeah.
They were going to release all these things, and then they stopped that real fucking quick. And the PS5 said, oh yeah, you can replace the panels on this. And then they didn't release them for over a year. So the third-party companies that did release them all got sued by Sony because Sony was going to release them. And now they've got this where they're trying to market, there's now 4 panels you can replace, including a disk drive. Like,
I love the
fucking damn.
I love the third-party skins that came out for PS5s. The best one being Cell's head from Dragon Ball. Because it fits perfectly. It's amazing.
But the like for the PS5, Sony announced that they were going to release like the skins for the console for I think it was one of the Spider-Man games. I don't know. I think it might have been Miles Morales. And then they only did a very limited number of them. And so a third-party company did pretty much the exact same skin on theirs. You could buy it from their website. And then they were sued by Sony to prevent them from selling it. And that didn't go through. The court upheld that, no, they can produce a product. It's not the exact same thing. They can let it go through. So they pretty much just they renamed it to the Arachnid skin and made it look more and more and more like it. And Sony just let it happen. So now you could buy the exact same fucking skin from anywhere. Like,
at a fraction of the goddamn cost.
Fucking oath.
Oh.
So, do we want to get into the kind of meat of this episode?
Yeah.
Meat and
so
potatoes.
I'm just going to... I gotta put up, massive content warning.
Yeah.
The thing we're about to talk about could be very triggering for people, particularly if you follow through and give it a look. And I would definitely suggest you do.
It's an eye-opening experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first episode's like, well, this train's coming in real quick, and that track looks like it's missing. And then by the 10th one, it's like, oh fuck, and then you can't look away.
Then you're in. You're invested.
It's the most horrific roller coaster I've ever been on.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be talking about the God damn it, I've lost the guy's name who wrote it.
Joe versus Elan.
Yeah. I will post a link in the show notes for it.
He refers to himself as Joe Nobody, so he hasn't actually given his full name.
So it's his experience having been placed within this quote unquote youth correctional school.
The troubled teen industry.
Yeah.
Which is still happening today, which is fucking wild.
It's fucking terrifying.
The thing I think was particularly confronting about this is I've kind of laughed at some of these things before.
Yeah.
Because, there's been stuff like Snowflake Mountain and stuff, TV shows that really sanitize it and kind of make it seem like, oh yeah, maybe you could get something out of this. Maybe these kids aren't necessarily people who should be here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind going out into the wilderness for a week and camping, but not everyone else does. So it's sort of like, but these are TV show ones. This is no, this is someone in one of these fucked up ones giving you the inside scoop.
And human rights violations levels are fucked up.
No, the very first issue of this is he's a 16-year-old kid. He says goodnight to his parents. He goes to bed, and then suddenly someone kicks in his door and abducts him from his bed. That's where it fucking starts. He has no idea what's going on, why it's happening, anything. He's just thrown in the back of a van with, pretty much hogtied and driven several states from where he lives without knowing what the fuck. To him, he's been kidnapped. That's all he fucking knows.
Middle of fucking nowhere as well in Maine. It's so far out of the way.
Yeah.
It is mental. Because, the entire thing is, the backstory for what he did to get there was he and his mates had a grand idea that over the summer they'd buy a brick of weed and they'd sell it out to their friends, and then they get to smoke for free the entire summer. which, fair. They were heading to one of the family's cabins in the woods to dole it all out into different sizes, and they got pulled over by cops and caught. Like, that's how it happened. Now, of the three, two of them got a lawyer, and went ahead and faced their day in court, and were basically told, yeah, you're free, you can go. But the Joe, his family talked to a counselor, I think it was, who was
the other two families did talk, but they decided that they'd go with the lawyer.
Yeah.
But
the council was basically fear-mongering, saying, no, he's going to be made an example of. They're going to throw the book at him. He's going to be in jail for years and years and years. He's definitely going to be found guilty. And just pushed them to sign him up for this, Elan school, which is meant to be you stay out in the wilderness, you learn life skills, and you get to keep doing your education.
The big thing is that Elan worked really hard to get itself accredited as a school.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just one of these ones where it's like, okay, you're going to spend 2 months out in the wilderness and learn how to be a not shit cunt.
Yeah.
You were supposed to go here, do school.
Effectively a boarding school.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was going to be more intense because they were going to try and help correct your behavior. And then, within the first couple of chapters, they have what they call a general meeting where literally every kid in the building that you're in yells in your face.
Yeah. And this was 60 kids crammed into a very small house. The floor plan for this thing was there were 2 levels to it, but most of them were taken up by dormitory upstairs.
Yeah.
And they spent a majority of their time, all of them, crammed into a dining area.
Yeah,
and
inside.
Everything.
They're only allowed outside for an hour every other day.
Oh, it was on Sundays if they had no instance that week.
Yeah.
It was messed up. Not only that, but no one had time to do anything. He mentions going on about also that it's a caste system. We have to get to that soon. At certain points, general meetings, like Seth mentioned, when everyone has to come and scream at you, and not just yell at you, but scream, top the lungs, profanity, worst things you can say to people, kind of stuff. And everyone must do it before life can go back to it as it was.
Yeah.
So if this happens midway through mealtime, you're fucked. You don't get to eat. Because you can't sit back down until you've yelled at someone. Only 7 people can yell at a time. And
No, 1.
I thought
it was if you fitted within the width of a broom.
That's right, yeah. You had to fit within the width of a broom. It's so messed up. And this was their daily lives. This happened numerous times a day in a schedule that was already impossible to meet.
Yeah.
So they weaponized sleep deprivation and shit.
Oh, fucking no. And if you fucked up really bad, you were taken to the big house where, you were put into pretty much a bare-knuckle boxing ring. They got the biggest bloke in the place to belt the piss out of you. And if you managed to beat him, you were still in the ring. They just threw another person in and just kept cycling them until you got the shit kicked out of you.
And there were 3 Elan houses. Occasionally they would have these things, because that was called the ring. That's what they allude to it. They'd have 3 house rings, or they'd have 3 house general meetings, where every student from all 3 houses would berate you.
Yeah.
Openly in a massive hall. It's so very fucked up. But
the one that I thought was particularly egregious was the corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is essentially
solitary.
An isolation cell.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just in a room, in a chair, staring at a corner, but it's effectively isolation because the only person in the room is someone who's going to make sure you sit there, bolt upright, staring at the corner, and not saying anything.
Because it's not just that sitting there staring at a corner. You cannot move, you cannot stand, you had to sleep in that corner.
But it's also that it happens for several months at a time. It's not just, you're in a corner for 3 days. You're in a corner for an hour, 2 hours. Months.
This is a human right violation in prisons if they're left in solitary for too long. It's fucked.
He's in there, the longest that he's aware of was 6 months.
Yeah.
That's half a year of just sitting in a corner looking at a wall. Holy fuck.
And you're not allowed to study. You're not allowed to do anything. All you do is eat, sleep, and stare at a corner.
Yeah. And if you're during the day, you can't sleep then. You have to sit bolt upright and stare at the wall.
Yeah.
You can't look around, because if you do, the guy who's watching you will beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
The entire thing is very fucked up, because when he first goes in there, Like, they don't even give him an orientation of sorts. It's kind of thrown to the walls of it. And they have a caste system which is low strength, strength, and then high strength. Which is, like, low strength people can only talk to strength and above. They can't talk or look at anyone else. They can only interact with people of the strength 5. Strength can talk to essentially anyone.
No, they can talk to other strengths or a non-strength.
Yeah.
High strength is when you start getting into, this is the fucked up bit, there's not that many staff at Elan. They use the kids.
Yeah, the kids have to be guards, cooks, cleaners.
Yeah, pretty much the kids are the guards and prisoners of their own fucking jail.
Yeah. So, like, once you get up into your high strength, you start actually becoming those sort of, essentially, guards.
Yeah.
And it's so fucked up.
And then there's the, like, boys and girls are not allowed to look at each other. Like, it is very much a cult mentality, because they keep telling you to release your guilt, which is just a catch-all term for everything, really.
Yeah.
And when you give them the guilt, then you're punished. So there's no way around it. And if you don't give them guilt, you're punished anyway. So you're
but then they
damned
take
if you
that
do,
guilt
damned if you
and they use it against you. Like, they straight out, oh, here's your weak spot. That's what I'm going to fucking hit over and over again.
When that next general meeting gets called on you, guess what's coming out of the fucking folder?
Oh, yeah. And, like, this entire way is, like, the comic the guy, Joe, has made is amazingly detailed in what he recalls.
Yes.
Like, holy shit.
And,
and of course, some of it's just burned into him, I think. But.
And it's not just, oh yeah, here's a comic I made of a thing I heard. It's full proof of everything. Of like, here it is. Here's photos. Here's where it is. Here's this room. Here's the layout of the room. Here's some of the people that were there. Like, straight out, like, holy fuck. Like this happened. There's no denying it.
The way they weaponize sleep deprivation and hunger is abysmal, because like they never have enough time to sleep, and when they are sleeping, there are bed checks every, I think it's 10 minutes, where they shine a light in your face and check to make sure your feet are still there by raising the covers up, and like that's fucked. There is no escape, like, at all. They can't go outside because there is a guy, like, weirdly enough, a student guards the door,
door
to the outside world, like there's door to the outside.
But there's several guards on the top floor and several guards on the bottom floor.
And they're always constantly screaming back and forth because there's constantly noise happening. You can never get a moment's peace. It is just nothing but psychological torture.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's particularly interesting, like, I don't know, it feels weird talking about someone's true life story and saying, like, buying us spoilers.
Yeah.
But there is a point where Joe gets away.
He escapes. Yeah.
Fucking really well done as well. Like, holy shit.
Well, fucking lucky.
Yeah, fucking
when he ran into that van, I was waiting for, and that's Elan.
Yeah.
But he gets away. And he starts getting ready to start contacting his family again. And I thought, oh, cool, I'm at the end of the comic.
Yeah.
This is his story. He has escaped. And then he gets picked up again.
Yeah. Again, picked up off the fucking street. Just grabbed
off the
into
street in fucking... in what, New York?
Yeah.
2 states away from where it happens within 48 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like he was gone for a total of 3 days, including travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very fucked. And even worse is what Elan's based off is a psychological experiment that was cancelled after 3 days.
Yeah.
Based on not so much, but it's
I mean, it started the exact same way. They kicked the door down, they took people from their beds, they had the full prisoner experience, and it was run by students.
I know, we're talking about the Stanford Prison Experiment.
Yeah.
And that is the most, it's not what it was based on, but it's the most actual thing that's similar to Elan that people might know about. Like, you can easily go read about the Stanford Prison Experiment. That's what Elan was.
Yeah. Except it didn't end. It went on for decades.
Yeah. It only shut down in 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this shit was continuing for a very long time.
And, like,
and
if if your parents were particularly fucked up and they signed you up for it when you were 12 or 13, you were there until you were 18. There was no getting out.
Yeah, they would not graduate.
Unless your parents pull you out.
You could be pulled out by your parents, you could get to 18 and sign yourself out, or you could theoretically...
Graduate.
What the biggest air quotes I can put around graduate, but there technically was a path out.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing is, though, with the signing yourself out at 18, because this was considered a correctional school, so it was meant to be helping troubled kids, if you signed yourself out, you would then have to go back to court to fight the original charge you went in with. So you could end up going to actual prison after this because you signed yourself at 18.
That was only if you'd been to court and been found guilty.
Yes,
and you went to there instead of doing actual prison time or juvie time, whatever it is. He was never found guilty. There was no reason. It was his own fucking parents keeping him there. They said it like...
But Alan does a really good job of making it sound like they're actually doing something good, not psychologically and brutally torturing your child.
They cut off all communication.
$50,000 a year.
Yeah, it was not cheap. Because they cut off all communication with the parents, but you could get privileges like calling your family. But when you did that, there was someone with their finger on the hang-up, the receiver, waiting for you to fuck up. And if you did, they just hit it. So you couldn't even get like a fraction of a message out.
It's really hard to explain this whole fucking story without it like fracturing into like, and this, and this, and this, and this. Because it is so fucking much, and it's like, how do you explain these things? I can't imagine how he went through and actually laid this out step by step, because holy Jesus.
We've been like pinballing around a whole bunch of different topics from this. This is all from chapters 1 to 47.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 100 of them.
This is 100. There's 100 chapters. It's done. It's finished. You can read the whole thing. He's completed the whole story he wants to tell. But that's the first 47 chapters.
Yeah.
And is all the way up to him getting picked up in New York.
There is so much more in that 47 chapters. Like, we're skimming a very, not even a millimeter into the this depth of shit that carries on.
It's essentially a comic written by the first-person perspective of someone going insane.
Oh, yeah.
And it's horrifying. But at the same time, weirdly, you can't stop reading. Like, I have lost a few days to this comic already.
I did lose several days to it.
Yeah.
As you start to get into the back half of it, it actually starts... Like, it's still compelling, but it starts getting a lot harder to read.
Yeah.
Because as he starts getting into a lot more of the more twisted ends of Alan, sorry, it's like, it's rough to read. You're gonna read some of those chapters and be like, I need to take a break now.
I have had to take a break a couple of times.
The big one for me was when I read about there was one incident where they had a big riot where like where a big majority of the kids decided they wanted to bail. And there's a whole big melee. Some of the kids are helping, some aren't. Some are trying to run. And in the middle of it, one kid kills himself by stabbing himself through the gut with a pen.
Yeah.
And I read that chapter and was like, I have to put this down now. I can't read
it's
anymore.
It's even worse because like the staff saw it all happen, didn't take him to hospital, didn't even try to help this kid. They gave him some Tylenol and said, walk it off.
They actually don't know what happened. Joe points out that he never saw the kid again, but the room he was in for the rest of the night looked out over the car park.
Yeah,
and no ambulance showed up. So, while the kid might not have died, but it's heavily implied that he did not get any help and he did not live.
Yeah, the theory is he was shuffled off to one of the other houses, so there wasn't another riot.
But again, they don't know.
Yeah.
It's like left very open-ended. It's like, whatever happened to that kid, you just don't know. And
even then, there's other shit with like when they bring in like siblings, because apparently a lot of siblings ended up at Alan together, and they would separate them into different houses.
Yeah,
just
can't have an ally base.
Yeah, no, fuck no. They literally go through and try to destroy ally base. Like, who's friends with who talks to who spends any time with anyone. And they literally beat it out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can't have a friend there and everyone is out to get you. You can't trust anyone.
Yeah. Because he sets out a bunch of rules for surviving an encounter like this. Because, like, at the start, it reads very much like if you are caught in this situation, here's what I did. And it's very, very weird and fun.
Actually, I think the thing that was particularly interesting is, like, you know, like, I think everyone at some point when they see these sort of, like, correctional groups, you have that little bit where you kind of, like, into yourself go, I'd get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't break. I could survive that.
Yeah.
And then you read this comic, and you see him try everything you've ever thought of to do that.
Yeah.
And watch them break him.
Because it's like, when you stop and think about it, Elan was running for like 25 or more years or something.
More. 50
Yeah.
plus
More
years.
than that.
50
Yeah.
or so years. It was a long fucking time.
Anything a 15-year-old can think of has already been thought of by previous people who tried to escape, and the group learnt from it. Like, Elan learnt how to make this thing just fucking a stranglehold.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
But, like, even where they had kids, like, you had to hand in slips dobbing other people in for other things.
Yeah.
And,
Mandatory
What was it,
3 a day.
3 a day?
Yeah.
and if you couldn't find anything, you pretty much had to make something up. Or
Yeah.
pretty much make something happen that you could dob in.
Yeah.
Like, God fucking damn. Like, that's just making yourself bury yourself. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
And, like, the way they destroy self-confidence, because at one point I think Joe's caught looking over at the direction of the girls' side of the room. And instantly it's a general meeting. So, like, everyone starts coming up, and they basically call him out, who's looking at this chick, he must have the hots for her, and get her to rip him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it is fucking horrible.
Like, a lot of, like, from issue, like, 40-something, whatever it is, once he manages to actually get out of Elan, or Elon, whatever the fuck it is,
Yeah.
how, like, the rest of it is his life and coping with the PTSD and how much it's fucked him up, and he doesn't notice how fucked up he is. Like, there's a lot of self-reflection there, but a lot of it's like, I don't know, I'm just doing what I need to do. Like, he goes to a restaurant with some people he's met and guards his food and shovels down entire meals as quickly as fucking possible because he's waiting for that bell. The meal's over. You can't eat anymore. And he's like, I don't know any different. Like,
it's just conditioned at that point, because he spends 3 years at this place, and I do not know how he's able to have any relationship with his parents, because every time things land in their court and they can do something about it, or if he, like, tries to tell them things, fingers in the ears, la 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 la, I can't hear anything. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah. Well, like, when he does turn 18 and he can sign himself out, they actually call his parents to bring him in and say, he could sign himself out, but we'd rather you graduate. Like, if you just sign yourself out now, you're dead to us. When, like, we'll pay for your uni if you graduate.
What was it? If you sign yourself out, it's $20 and a bus ticket to Boston.
Yeah. And that's it. Or if you manage to graduate, we'll pay for your university. And it's like, fuck, I'm either homeless and pretty much dead in the streets, or there's some chance for me to do it. Like, holy fuck,
It's really, like, I think one of the creepiest things is there's a point where he kind of reinvigorates himself with this idea, what is it, one of his lowest moments. All the power dies.
Yeah.
And he thinks, something's looking out for me.
Yes.
And he decides it's this thing called the Great Power.
Yeah, the Great Energy.
And that starts...
Yeah.
So he starts, like, focusing on that and, like, I can get through this, I can survive. And it's one of the most disturbing things in it is how that helped him survive, and eventually Elan takes it away.
Yeah.
He starts to perceive Elan is the Great Power.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
It just infects everything it touches.
This thing you created to have something to believe in other than Elan became Elan.
Yeah. That's straight out Stockholm Syndrome. Like, fucking there. And that's, once you're in that system for so fucking long, that's what they bank on. It's like, you've been here so long, you're part of this system. That's how the prisoners can guard the jail.
There's a really good bit where he points out that when he was contemplating leaving, he was scared because he'd become so used to the structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that, like, the structure sucks, and he completely openly admits it, but he understood it.
Yeah.
The structure is something I can cling to and
Yeah.
work with. If I leave, I have no structure. What the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah. And in all of this, he's got actual photos of the timetables and sheets
Yeah.
and sign-in slips. Like, there is actual physical evidence of these are things that happened. This isn't just me making shit up.
Yeah.
This happened.
Because I think
And
it's
it's like-
around chapter 14 where he makes the choice to play their game and starts, like, forcing himself to go high strength.
I thought it was a little later than
that was his
but-
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he does it. He does it early because he wants to get the visit
parent
with his
trip.
parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's after that and his dip to New York. That's when he really drinks the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And even then, it's like, no, I just need to pretend. I need to make it look like I'm part of the show.
Yeah.
But he's drunk that Kool-Aid.
Eventually.
He becomes a
Oh, no,
part of the
it's-
show.
I love the way he does it in the comic because he mentions that he set himself a mental alarm, which would just say,
Yeah.
"You're only pretending, Joe. Don't forget, you are only pretending. You are not becoming like them." And over time, that voice got quieter and quieter, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrible to read.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
Like I said, like, massive content warning. Like, if you want to check this thing out, like there's some absolute human rights violations.
It is
fucked up shit.
absolutely horrific what
Yeah.
this person goes through for so much of it. And, like,
Yeah.
there are straight out parts of it you'll read. It's like, I need to walk away and just, I need to look at the world around me and see the sunshine and be
Yeah.
somewhere else completely. Because
I need to go
holy
touch
fuck.
grass right now because holy shit.
Yeah. I need to
Like, as
realize
I-
this isn't the world.
Yeah.
As I said, the whole section with the kid who stabs himself with the pen, the way he describes it, the way he's like he saw the kid across the room and he didn't know what had happened yet, but like the way he looked was just burned into his memory.
Yeah.
Because he knew there was something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, a few
And
of the
then-
things he mentions that are burned in his memory are fucked. Like that one, the poor girl whose introduction to Alan was a 3-house fucking ring.
Yeah.
Or a 3-house general meeting or something. It was something huge and messed up. Like, they didn't even prep
Yeah.
before, just threw her in. That was it.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But
like,
would highly recommend go
We'll link
and
it,
read it.
definitely.
like, just,
It'll be in the show notes.
yeah, when you do
I'll
read
put-
it, like, just take it, like, read a bit and then just walk away. Know that this is
Yeah.
just a thing. If you want to stop reading, stop
Yeah.
fucking reading.
Yeah.
But
We're just
it's
masochists.
this is an experience. It's like this
Yeah.
happened in this world, like, and it still happens. Like, this is still a thing that happens
Yeah.
in the US.
Oh yeah.
like-
there's an entire industry for it. It's
Oh,
fucking
Alan
makes
might be
billions.
gone, but there's others.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking oath. There's still several other states that have it. And in those states, like, after reading this, I wanted, like, how the fuck can this still happen?
Yeah.
In those other states where it does still happen, each of these schools, as they were, are massive donors to fucking governmental agencies.
Yeah.
Of course.
And even the Alarm School had numerous championships for sport. Like,
Yeah.
that's how they, well, not prided themselves, but that's how they put themselves for it as a serious school. It's like, look at
And
our
what's
sport
really
program.
fucked up is a lot of them were for running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just really fucking... Run. Here's an award. You can't run from this.
Yeah.
Like,
That has
that's
to be, like, the-
fucked up.
Oh, it's messed up. Like, the fact it's happened to one person is horrendous. The fact it happened to thousands of children is
Yeah.
so much worse.
I think the youngest one he said he knew of was 13.
Like,
Yeah.
12 or 13, yeah, because it was just when they hit teens, because that's what they could qualify as what they were doing. And just the way he describes the look on a kid's face who's putting 2 and 2 together, realizing he's 13, and he has to be here till he's 18.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah.
That's how you kill a soul right there. And it
Yeah.
even
Yep.
like describes some of the kids there that have been there for several years and they've still got several years to go and they're just hollow husks. Like, how the
yeah.
fuck do you expect that person to rejoin society? Like,
Yeah.
that's not a person anymore. That's just a zombie who'll do anything to get back into into an institution where they have control. Like, they'll walk straight out of there, straight down. They may kill someone, they may rob a convenience store. They want to get back into a fucking institution. That's
a lot of them end up going back as staff, according to the comic. Like, a bunch of the staff are ex-Elan people.
It's if you get to graduation, you're basically going to work for Elan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even, like...
But they point out that They do point out that the most likely thing to happen to someone who's left Elan is suicide.
Yeah.
That's the most common out that happens if you've left that school.
It is a horrible thing, and I hope everyone involved in it is now dead and died a horrible way. Like, Jesus Christ, the people who did this are monsters.
Yeah. If you want to read a true story that is fucking horrific, read this.
Yeah.
Look, if anyone listens to, like, true crime podcasts, read this. Like, it'll be up your
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is very, very messy.
But, like, it's on his website of it, you can go through, start from home, read through all the chapters you want, but actually has full proofs. Like, there's whole books out there that people have written. That was the one, like, reading through it was like, this is a
Dr.
fucked up thing.
Yeah,
it's something like that. Like, looking at it going, fuck, this is a really fucked up thing for someone to have in their mind. Like, if there wasn't proof there, you'd look at it and go, what the fuck is this? Like, who the hell can think of this?
Yeah.
But there's proof and photos and, like, here is the site. This is building 1. This is building 2. This is building 3. Like, floor plans. Here's people that have done it. Like,
yeah,
holy fuck.
It's very in-depth.
Yeah,
like, he has a Patreon as well, and I honestly am debating getting the 97 a month one just so I can get the printed book, because he's got a full book that apparently has some extra stuff in it, and I would like to support this guy.
His drawings from his time in Elan, like, where he's actually kept them, or like,
like, I will happily feed this guy some money for a bit, because holy shit. But,
it's a wild thing, and I'd recommend people read it, but really take it with a grain of salt. Like, if it's not for you, walk away.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't
if you can't handle
any
it,
better
don't
for a
keep
long
going.
time.
Yeah. If you hit something on that where you go, that's too fucked up, I can't handle anymore, trust me, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
There is very little uphill in this story.
Or it gets a hell of a lot worse before it gets any better, and even in the better, it's not fucking good.
He has to build himself back up to 0, essentially. It's bad. Like, holy shit.
But the last issue of it is him coming up with the idea for this entire comic. Like, this is his life up to this point, and it's it started November 5th, 2018, and the last issue dropped September 15th, 2023.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, the weirdest thing from this comic has been the fact that it has actually overshadowed our book of the month. Like, I actually found it surprisingly hard to finish the book of the month because I wanted to be reading this.
Yeah.
Like,
See,
it was weird.
I read this several months ago, and I recommended it then, and it's like how hard it was to not talk about this whole fucking thing I'm just experiencing because no one else has read the fucking thing. And now it's like, holy shit, you've read it. Oh my god.
Oh,
it's one of those things that if you're going to read it, like, if you can know someone else who would be interested in reading it, who could handle reading it, read it with them, because you will need someone to talk about this with.
Yeah.
This needs to be like this could be like a book club thing, essentially. Just if you have a book club and you really don't like them, bring this up.
Oh yeah, you just need something to be able to vent it out of your head. Like, if you're going to read it, grab a reading buddy, whether you read it together or just read it.
Strap them down, make them read it. You need someone to talk to about this shit.
Fucking oath.
Like,
But yeah, it's a wild ride.
But we probably should talk about our book of the month before we run out of time.
Yeah.
Alright. What do you guys think of the book this month? Since it was my pick.
So this month's book was Spellmonger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually wasn't bad. Shock Horror, our friend Matt, has picked another one that was pretty good.
It's almost like he knows us, that bastard.
Like, was a pretty basic fantasy, like magic or magic society fucking book. Not really sword and sorcery. A step away from lit RPG. It's like magic, but someone is still gaining power and finds a little gizmo to make him even more powerful, and then has to survive. I enjoyed it. There's a few things there that was like, oh, this is a little fucking... Whether it's historically accurate or not, like...
That's the wrong way, but...
Something the like, maybe add a few years onto some of the characters. Like,
make it a bit, less cringy, because it's just... Some of it's a bit icky.
Yeah.
But like the basic story of it is just an oncoming goblin war and having to fight against it. But they build such a very intricate backstory to the world.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks me into it, to be honest. Like,
everything about it, we're going to run to this building, and then goes into an in-depth description on the history of the building and why the building's there and everything about it, and then continues on with the story. And
well, my favorite thing going through that same point is the fact that he's always putting history into stuff. The one thing he never explains is why there is a keep here.
Yeah.
Like, it's always a mystery. It's like, why the fuck they build this massive castle on this hill? Like, sure, it's a good vantage point and everything, but this is way more than would ever be needed.
Yeah. And that's not explained till right towards the end.
Yeah. And then it turns out we were the bad people all along. The real monster was man.
The enemies he made along the way.
Like, honestly, considering there's like also 15 to 16 books of it as well.
Yeah, it's a long series if you continue with it.
I am told apparently sex magic does not make an appearance after the first book. So...
That's good.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. That felt to me a bit like the scenes from Stray Cat Strut, the second book.
You mean in every fucking book?
He was a very randy wizard, we'll give him that.
But, like, a lot of that sex magic could have been replaced with any other form of magic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be like that. It's like, oh, I'm going to write a story. I'm going to jam sex magic in. Oh, yeah.
The author was feeling a bit toey. That's just, how it goes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he learned.
He did.
Yeah. Or he must have got some between books. Got it out of the system.
I do like some of the things, like the thing that amplifies their magic is like basically a amber from a very magical kind of tree. Like everything has a reason to it, even like towards the end. And I love that in any book. When the mythology sticks to itself and when the magic system is set, it doesn't have I break the rules because I'm special.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that kind of stuff. But Eerie Night, the weird sap amber thing, makes sense. Because it's just amplifying what's put into it. It itself is not magical. It just is a loudspeaker for magic.
But even the whole thing of, like, the mad wizard before him, like, it's like, he had one slither of it and he went nuts and he did all this stuff. But then they describe that when you pick it up, if it's cut off a larger chunk, whoever controls the larger chunk is going to influence the smaller chunk you've got.
Yeah.
So if that mad wizard had a slither that was cut off a larger chunk that someone else who was just as fucking nuts was hanging onto it or had some really shitty thoughts towards people, it's going to amplify out of him, which explains the fucking mad wizard.
Yeah.
It's like that's really interesting for it.
And they mention throughout the book that, he mentions himself, that as you have this, like, stuff with you, you start casting spells without realizing it. Because it eventually attunes to whoever's using it, and a strong enough emotion creates a spell-like effect. Yeah. At one point, like, a lord of the castle is essentially trying to dress him down because he comes from peasant stock. And pushes a few boundaries he shouldn't have pushed, at which point it's like, so lightning just starts crackling through the wizard's hair as he's trying very hard not to murder a lord.
I really enjoyed the story of this. I've bought a couple of more books in the series, which I'll get into when I get through some more of my back catalogue.
We have a huge
it's
back
there
catalog.
And it's in my list. I'm just working my way down the list and I'll get to it eventually. But I did enjoy this.
Unfortunately, it is quite low on my list to continue, unfortunately.
I have other things I want to listen to first.
It's been tagged on the back end, and other books that I've pre-ordered, if they come out first, will get listened to first. It's just,
oh yeah.
if I chip through everything else and I'm running out of things to do, then I'll work my way through the list.
Absolutely.
Okay, all three of us drop everything the second the new Stray Cat Strut or a new He Who Fights with Monsters comes out. We know what
November for the next one.
Oh yeah, it's marked on the calendar. Yeah. I've got like 20-something series I've listened to, and several of them are like, I've earmarked it for the next one.
Yeah. But if you enjoy medieval fantasy, I wouldn't call it high fantasy because it's not that grand. They don't do the whole waffle thing. Wizards seem more like just general practitioners as opposed to I am a grand mage, all worship me. Some are definitely like that.
But like, well, in this, like, how the character finds their magic, like his sister does something, he cops the blame for it, so he gets given the chores, and he's just bitching at his sister the entire time he's doing this chore, and then the woodpile catches fire. It's like, oh shit, hang on, something else is going on here, and then it
even more fun is the I like the way he did that scene because his dad sees it all. His dad's like the greatest baker in their county or land, whatever the fuck it is, and he's the only son. He's the only one who could theoretically inherit the bakery
after
and
7
carry on
daughters.
legacy.
Like he's meant to be like he's the golden child. He's meant to be the baker, like coming through next.
And that like the father's like the father sees because he's stacking up the oven to roast the to bake the bread.
Bake the bread, yeah.
At which point he sees that happen, and he's basically just takes. He's like, all right, meet me at my shed. We're gonna have a talk. And basically he's like straight out like, cool, you're going to be a wizard now. We're going to take you to get tested to see what happens. He just doesn't even blink. It's like, I'm sad that you're... Yeah. He's like, I'm sad you can't take over the bakery, but holy fuck, you could be a wizard. We're taking you places. And that's one of my favorite versions of a father or a parent in general in any fantasy setting. Where it's like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. Like, fuck off, you gotta be a wizard. Go get the stuff. I'm gonna pack for you.
The whole thing where he goes through his wizarding education, goes through the whole thing, graduated, and then right at the end of it, right, so I'm going to go over here, I'm going to study more. You've been drafted.
Yeah, he just gets drafted immediately.
It's like the US military stand at the end of a high school bloody graduation going, by the way.
Because the way he mentions it is, if you were really good, you got to stay behind and continue studying and teaching, because he mentions one guy that happened who came to fight with him. But he also mentions if you did really well, but not enough to be put on faculty, you were basically drafted. Like they took you to a new college, the War College, and you learned war spells. So, okay, makes sense. Otherwise, you got released onto the public and fleeced them dry.
Yeah.
Because some of the characters just, like obviously a lot of it I think was some characters were influenced by Tolkien characters. Or Tolkien, but like there is a Wormtail. Oh, sorry, Wormtongue, whispering in the ear of the Lord at one point, and it's like that parallel was really fun.
There's also fucking tree ants and like wood elves and everything, but the whole story of the wood elves, how like the goblins are pretty much a subspecies of the wood elves. They're just forgotten their history, and like how there's really 4 different creatures and everything else is a subset of those creatures. It's like there's actual history and some thought into that whole thing. There's an actual tree to it all, not just here's an elf, it's an elf because it's an elf, there's a goblin, deal with it.
Like the world this guy has built is in depth and pretty well thought out and very interesting. I will listen to more. It
has to be well thought out to support 15 books.
Yeah like he carries on for quite a while, so but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how long it takes to actually get through to book 2 of it, but I did enjoy it, so it has made it onto the list at least.
Yes.
So
I'd agree with that.
Same.
So I get this month's book.
Yay!
I get to do the spooky season book, and
Spooktober.
I was picking my brain really hard because I kind of came out the great gate pretty hot last year with Haunted. Mostly just because I.
Still one of my favourite books to recommend to people. Like, I feel like reading something a little creepy, a little spooky. It's like, I got a book for you.
I'm glad you're recommending it to people. I really keep trying to get people to read that book.
Yeah.
I don't know how many have actually listened to it, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it enough to recommend it.
So this year I was racking my brain about what to choose, and I kind of got it down to 2 books, and then I was talking with the boys last week and got it down to 1 book, and then literally today, the challenger arose, and I'm picking something completely different from what I was going to choose.
No, basically, Audible stepped in and slapped you in the face and said, no, you're doing this now.
Because as of today, literally while I was at work, I got a message from the Audible app telling me that Ghost Stories, as read by Stephen Fry, came out.
Yeah.
Stephen Fry's definitive collection.
Yeah, like his favorite fucking ones. Like, I'm in.
And some of these, like, I have read 1 or 2 of the books that is in the list before, and it's like, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Stephen Fry has velvet for a voice.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just going to be beautiful. So, this month, instead of doing some super weird, fucked up thing like I was going to do, we're going to have Stephen Fry tell us classic ghost stories.
Hell yes, we are.
So, this is the publisher summary of the book.
Also, it's only on Audible.
Oh, yeah. As the days grow shorter and the temperature drops, Halloween approaches. Come, brave listener, pull up a chair and spend some time with the master storyteller Stephen Fry as he tells us some of his favorite ghost stories of all time in a truly terrifying spatial audio. Spatial audio. God, I tripped over that word pretty hard.
To be fair, it took me like 3 tries to read that in my head.
You're too excited.
From the Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow to the tortured spirits of M.R. James. From Edgar Allan Poe's terrifying tale of a doppelganger to Charlotte Riddle's open door that should definitely stay shut. Join Stephen as he tells you truly terrifying tales of ghosts and ghouls, spirits and phantasms, specters and apparitions. Listener discretion advised.
There is a decent collection of books in this, like, holy shit.
Yeah, I am super fucking keen. It's 8 hours of deliciousness. I cannot wait. Yeah, so if I kind of want to say the book I was going to do last time, but it's like maybe one other time I'll just like throw it out there just to catch you off guard when it's not Halloween.
Yeah, it's like randomly New Year's, like, aha! It'll be good. But I'm keen. I have his autobiography as an audiobook on Audible, and that's fucking great. Mint. I love Stephen Fry. He's good people.
I've listened to Mythos and Heroes and a few of his other books, and it's like, holy shit, like, this is so fucking good.
They're great.
Yeah. So, very much looking forward to that. And yeah, that was just a complete out of nowhere. Was not expecting that. But yeah, just kind of bitch slapped the book we were going to listen to out the way. You're listening to this.
You were holding it in your hand and just almost slapped it out. Like, no, this is for you.
You didn't choose the book has chosen you.
Yeah, definitely did.
It's Harry Potter rules, is it?
It's almost a spooky tale.
It's perfect timing as well. It's great.
Yeah.
Had it been 24 hours later, we were on a different book this year.
Oh, yeah. And then we'd been looking back at this. Fuck, did you see that came out? Jesus, that would have been so good.
Not this year, we get it. Well, we're well out past an hour, so I think we can be finished up for the week.
It has been a very bouncy episode.
Yeah. Yes, it has.
Yeah.
But, again, like, if you check out the Alarm stuff, like, massive content warning. I cannot stress that enough.
Reader discretion is advised.
Yeah.
We have warned you. You cannot blame us for this.
But you probably will.
And we will deserve it, but still.
Anyway, y'all have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.
If any of the themes in this week's episode have affected you negatively, please contact Lifeline or the equivalent in your country. See you next week.